Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy Labor Day. Welcome to College Football Time with Avery Miguel. To inform you guys, the audience, season two will be a little different in the sense that we will be focusing on one game for each week. We're going to do pre-game predictions like we always do, but now we're going to do post-game analysis as well. So welcome to the post-game analysis, and it's about Colorado TCU. Avery Miguel, Avery Jones. Avery, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Miguel. And with season two and adding this post-game reaction, I think it's going to be great for us, especially for college football, because college football is always exciting.
Yes, indeed. And wow, unbelievable to kick week one of this college football season. Colorado upsets TCU, a team that was in the national title game last year, 45-42. As we spoke before this, both teams were atrocious defensively, but offensively they put on a show. Shador Sanders, man, the first time I saw this kid was during Deion Sanders' Hall of Fame speech. And I watched that speech on TV. So the fact that I see him in college now playing quarterback position makes me feel old in a way. So, but man, this kid can play. And I absolutely loved his post-game interview. This
I
kid is flat out unbelievable. If he stays healthy, if he stays healthy, I could see him playing in the NFL.
I agree with you, Miguel. You mentioned uh, Coach Deion's Hall of Fame speech with some colleagues and friends. A lot of us were really excited about this game. And I remember speaking with a couple of friends and talking about how Coach Deion's Hall of Fame speech is giving the beginnings of him being that coach and mentor that these young men need. So when he gets the job at Jackson State, that's how he's getting his first stepping stone to coaching. So a lot of people were shocked when he got the job at Colorado. A lot of us thought he may go back to his alma mater, Florida State. He might go to University of South Florida. Of course, he did apply for the job at TCU. But what he is bringing to Colorado, his style of coaching, the fact that 87 players went through the transfer portal to play for him, it is showing that he has a style of play, he has a level of excellence that his players need to bring. Just as he had players come in, he had a lot of players leave. It shows the commitment that he wants for his players. So for the fact that it's his son, I think he has a higher expectation for Shador. And if you're saying, you felt a little old seeing him in his Hall of Fame speech, I've been following Deion Sanders since I was a kid and he was playing at Florida State. So and then seeing him play for the Falcons and then the 49ers and the Cowboys and the Ravens. So he has the longevity there. And you're talking about, Shador's post-game interview. Let's talk about Coach Deion's post-game interview, which I think is all Coach Prime. You know, I'm going to be going back and forth when I talk about him. I can't call him Coach Sanders because I'll think of chicken and I'll get hungry. But calling him Coach Deion or Coach Prime, it is no disrespect on his office. He has earned the title of coach. We may be saying it to be more familiar, but we are familiar with the man. He is giving these young men the confidence, the opportunity, and that's what a lot of young men want when it comes to playing college football. They want that opportunity to be showcased, to get to the next level, and then be that person to get their name called for the draft, whether it be the first round, second round, to be drafted anyway. And I agree with you. If Shador stays healthy, if they make tweaks to their defense, because you're correct, that game defensively was atrocious. You have Travis Hunter, who is playing on both sides of the ball. You also have Deion's other son, Shiloh. He did very well defensively. I believe he had like 30 some tackles at the game. So there are things that they can improve on. And if you want to look at this Colorado team schedule wise, Coach Deion has already, he's already gotten the one win. Colorado had one win all last season. So really, he needs to get two, and the team is making progress. So Coach Deion was talking about receipts. I'll go ahead and give my receipt for Coach Deion and the Colorado Buffaloes. I'm saying they're going to get a bowl game. For a bowl game, you only need 6 wins. If you were to look at Colorado's entire schedule or the rest of their schedule, I see 4 teams that could possibly give them trouble. Oregon, USC, Washington State, and Utah. And Oregon and USC, I believe they play back-to-back weeks. And then Washington State and Utah, they play back-to-back on the road to finish their season. So if Coach Deion gets his young men together, if they make tweaks to their defense, if their offense keeps clicking, when you have young men, when their number gets called, every week we are going to see improvement upon improvement upon improvement upon improvement. And next thing you know, one week, all of a sudden, Colorado could be ranked. And my philosophy is when your team gets ranked, now you have the opportunity to not only be showcased, but also you go and win the game. So this is going to be a great season for Colorado. Whatever their expectations are, they have no problem exceeding those expectations. A friend tells me sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone. Coach Deion going to Colorado was definitely out of his comfort zone. Deion Sanders is from the West Coast. He's Florida. He's Florida like me. And for a lot of people from Florida, we always back our Florida football players, no matter what. So on Saturday, a lot of my friends, they knew where I was. From noon to 11 p.m. at night, I'm watching college football. And a lot of my friends were texting me, hey, Avery, you watching that Colorado TCU game? Absolutely. I made it home just in time for kickoff. I had to run errands that morning, and I made it in time for kickoff. But after that, on the radio, on TV, college football in general is very exciting, especially when you have student athletes showcasing themselves to get to the next level. So Shedeur Sanders, I completely agree with you. He stays healthy. He keeps learning. He rallies his teammates rally around him. I see this being a great football team. Maybe not perfect, but definitely a great football team.
There's a lot that you said there, but I absolutely loved every minute of Deion Sanders' speech. Hey, media, do you believe it in us now? Do you believe it in us now? So, but Deion, he's original. He's original. He's determined to win. He believes in this program. This program was 1-11 last year, and he already got that one win. So, I mean, what a way to send a message to critics and naysayers. Shedeur Sanders, 510 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And let's talk about Travis Hunter and Dylan Edwards. They play their asses off, especially Travis Hunter. Man, a lot of doubters on them, but Coach Deion, he believed in them. Let's see what else. Now, head coach of TCU, Sonny Dykes, much respect to him in that post-game interview. He gave Colorado their props. I mean, it was just great sportsmanship on his part. He took the loss with class. I feel that TCU, those 2 red zone picks and that missing field goal hurt their chances in this game. So if it weren't for that, we probably would have had a different conversation right now, but what a great game. Both teams battle. Both coaches coach their butts off. Shout out to Colorado's conditioning coach. Um, I mean, it was just phenomenal. But man, Shador Sanders, I'm slowly becoming a fan of this kid. This kid, he is focused, he is honest, he's hardworking, he's well spoken. I mean, that post game interview, I saw a lot of Deion Sanders in him in that post game interview. So I'm rooting for the kid. He could be eligible for a draft after the season, depending how things go. But I'm hoping he stays around for one more year, no matter how he does this year.
I agree with you. I believe Shador is a junior, so he could be eligible for the draft. But if we go back to TCU, Sonny Dykes absolutely class act after the game, and I remember my preview saying, it would be within a score. And granted, it was the flip. I saw TCU coming out on top, but you're right. TCU, they kind of have to go back to the drawing board a bit, but Sonny Dykes is going to get his players ready for the continuation of a season. Let's not forget, yes, they did play for the national championship last year. Even though they were upset, they still want to be in the playoff picture. And with the playoff expanding, with conferences getting new teams, this is going to be a very unique season for a lot of teams. So, you may have your same teams that are in the conversation, but you're also going to get some other teams that get into this conversation because if you lose one or two games, all of a sudden you're out. Another team keeps winning, and it just goes on from there. But you're right, TCU, Sonny Dykes, they need to talk with their defense, find out new ways to uh, not uh, not miss these opportunities. Offense definitely needs to be more conscious on their side of the football. But TCU, I believe still has a chance, especially in the Big 12. But you're correct. I hope Shador Sanders stays, a senior, maybe fifth year starter as well. But you're right. He does have that swagger of his father, which is not bad. But you're correct. Class act, a great leader. That's one thing that football analysts mentioned on Saturday. For Colorado, they don't have the C; they have the L for leader, and I really like that approach for Coach Deion and his team because these young men are future leaders, whether continuing in football, whether it be sports, whether it be private sector, what have you. Uh, we're gonna see these young men do great things. I really believe it. I really believe it.